Hello and welcome. I'm Lauri Ann Lumby with Authentic Freedom Academy, and we are here today gathered for our Friday weekly service. Today is Friday, January 15th, 2021. And the theme of our service today is the Day of Reckoning. And so before we begin, I invite you to, or as we begin, I invite you to close your eyes, and we'll take a few moments to gather into this space. And so invite you to begin with your eyes closed by drawing your awareness to your breathing, becoming aware of each breath as you draw it in and each breath as you give it release. Following that breathing with your mind as you draw it in and as you give it release. And in that place of openness, facilitated by your mindful breathing, I invite you to receive these words from the book, from the prophet Sirach. Her blessing covers the dry land like a river and drenches it like a flood. But her wrath drives out the nations as when she turned a watered land into salt. To the faithful, her ways are straight, but full of pitfalls for the wicked. From the beginning, good things were created for the good, but for the wicked, good things and bad. The basic necessities of human life are water and fire and iron and salt and wheat flour and milk and honey, the blood of the grape and oil and clothing. All these are good for the godly, but for the wicked, they turn into evils. There are winds created for vengeance, and in their anger, they can dislodge mountains. On the day of reckoning, they will pour out their strength and calm the anger of their maker. Fire and hail and famine and pestilence, all these have been created for vengeance. The fangs of wild animals and scorpions and vipers, and the sword that punishes the ungodly with destruction. They take delight in doing her bidding, always ready for her service on earth. And when their time comes, they never disobey her command. So from the beginning, I have been convinced of all this and have thought it out and left it in writing. All the works of the mother are good, and she will supply every need in its time. No one can say this is not as good as that, for everything proves good in its appointed time. So now sing praise with all your heart and voice and bless the name of the divine creator. I share that reading today inspired by what came through for me in my meditation this morning. As I was sitting in meditation, I was drawn to prayers of protection, encircling people I love and care for, our communities, our nations, our world in protection. And as I sat with that prayer, what came through was not an intention of protection, but an affirmation of protection. It was the affirmation of those who will survive the time of reckoning. And I say that mindful that those words might stir up thoughts of, apocalyptic kind of thoughts. And I want to assure those listening that that's not what I'm referring to, though for some it might feel that way. What I saw in my meditation and in my prayer this morning was something that I guess I'll preface it by saying I don't believe in a vengeful God, but I do believe that we reap what we sow. And we have been living in a world of increasing division, specifically as it relates to the material things, money, power, possessions. And for those who, I guess I'll say, have been paying attention, there's something very strange about the phenomenon of the super rich. And I posed this question on Facebook yesterday and never did get an answer. I said to the economists out there, where did the money come from? Specifically, where did the money come from that is now in the hands of the super wealthy? In particular, I think of people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and other people that have mind-boggling amounts of money. Money you could, I I don't know how one single person could, I don't know how anyone could ever spend that kind of money. And they have all of this money, but where was that money before? It's a question I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, but it doesn't make sense to me. It's not like the US Treasury has been hanging on to trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, and now suddenly it's in the hands of Jeff Bezos. That can't be the case because the US is in trillions of dollars of debt. So the math doesn't add up to me, which confirms for me something that I have believed for a very long time, is that our money, or what we call money, is increasingly fake. And that there isn't anything backing what we call money except the illusion of it as having some sort of value. Or perhaps, as I've also theorized, all of that money is based in debt, which means not only does it have no value, its value is less than zero, which that's not even possible. And yet here we are. So when I look at that phenomenon, we're ultimately talking about a house of cards. We're talking about a system that is grotesquely unsustainable. We think that our Earth is fragile, our planet is fragile because of the damage that we've done to it. But that system of money is even more vulnerable in this moment than our sacred planet. So I don't have to be a prophet to understand that sooner or later, probably sooner than later, that whole system is going to collapse. And when it does, it's going to bring to their knees those who cling to that system and those who have gained their power, their status, and all their stuff from that system. It will also bring to their knees those who believe in that system. And very clearly in my meditation, the phrase came, the day of reckoning. A day of reckoning is coming. Now, I always hold these messages loosely because I know that timelines can very easily change. That what I'm seeing today, that human beings might make really good decisions that will help ease the pain, or maybe even erase the need for a day of reckoning. But what I was also assured of in that meditation is all of those who will be protected and safe from the fallout if and or when there is that kind of financial collapse. And over and over and over again, scripture confirms the protection of what in scripture is called the faithful, but what I would more broadly interpret as those faithful to their practice. Those who have done the work of freeing themselves from ego attachments, false perceptions, societal conditioning, fear, power, control, who have done the deeply transformative work of healing and transforming the shadow. Those who are here, those who have been doing the work of preparing the land, so to speak, through their own individual practice. And in doing so, have created a net of safety and protection that is inside of ourselves. It is that strength and that power and that discipline that we carry within ourselves that has given us the resilience to stand as witness to, but also to endure the dramatic changes that are coming upon our world. And for that, I am incredibly grateful. Grateful for the individuals, the processes, the inspiration, the tools that have come forward in support of that inner journey, in support of that inner development and strengthening, in support of resilience and endurance. And so I remind us that that safety and protection is present within us. And we have done the difficult work of cultivating that. And with and by that training, we have also opened ourselves to be vessels through which healing and transformation can take part and place in our world. And there's a beautiful meditation visualization practice that I was given this morning while in yoga. And I want to share that practice with those here today and invite you to join with me in this practice today as we hold our world in love, as we hold ourselves and our closest, dearest loved ones and friends and companions in that love. And as we hold even those we might judge as wicked in that same love, it is through that love that we bring healing to our world. So I invite you to once again close your eyes and to begin this meditation, this prayer, by bringing your awareness to the crown chakra, the energy center located at the crown, the top of your head. And at that energy center, I invite you to envision a magenta pink lotus flower located at the crown of your head. And to recognize that lotus as a vehicle of reception and openness. And I invite you to imagine that flower as being wide open, all of its petals open towards the heavens and open to receiving. And through that opening at the crown, I invite you to envision and to feel the light of divine love as entering into your being through the open petals of that lotus flower. Feeling that divine love pouring into you like life-giving water. Quenching your spiritual thirst and filling you with divine love. And I invite you to pause for a few moments as you allow that filling up to take place. As you are continuing to receive that flow and that filling up of divine love, I invite you now to become aware of that love as moving into the crown of the head, through your mind, your head, your face, your throat, and coming to rest in the center of your heart. Feeling that divine love collecting and filling, enlivening and nourishing your heart center. And I invite you to rest for a few moments as you continue to feel that filling up in your heart. As you continue to feel that filling up of that divine light in the center of your heart space, I now invite you to envision a second lotus flower, this one centered in the middle of your heart and opening out toward the world. And as you allow that lotus flower in the heart to open, I invite you to visualize that love that is filling you as moving out toward the world. going out into the world as love, as compassion, as healing, as protection. And as you are sending that love forward and out into the world, that love completes a circuit, moving down into your crown chakra, moving into the heart, moving out from the heart, and coming back around to the crown. So I invite you to rest in silence for a few moments as you allow that complete circuit to be fulfilled through you. Divine love coming in through the crown, out through the heart into the world, and back in through the crown, into the heart, out through the heart, and into the world. Allow yourself to continue that circuit as we rest in silence for a few moments. I now invite you to slowly and gently open your eyes, knowing that that circuit of healing is of receiving, sending forth, healing, receiving, sending forth, healing is continuing. And I want to seal this practice and this service today with a card pull from my Kali Oracle deck, which I just received as a birthday present. And the card I pulled today is card 38, which is Kama of Kali. And interestingly, it is an image of a beautiful pink lotus flower being held in the hands of Kali Ma. And I'll read to you the message of this card. Kali Ma is completely and utterly in love with your divine essence. And in her love, She bestows endless gifts. Your path need not be one of endless effort. Connecting with pleasure as a path of personal empowerment with an intention to bring spiritual benefit to the collective through softening and opening your heart is an act of worshiping the divine feminine. Relax into the presence of what is as you slow your pace and make swifter progress.